Good afternoon. We recognize the substantial interest in the City of Chandler's automated license plate reader technology, and so we're here today to discuss some issues, and then we'll take some questions afterwards. After careful consideration, city leadership has decided to discontinue the use of flock cameras in Chandler. The City Council will not pursue a renewal of our service agreement with the vendor at this time. Accountability, transparency, and public trust are among the core principles of a high-functioning police department, and they guide decision-making at every level of our organization. Having said that, this week, for the first time in nearly 3 years, a proactive audit system flagged an anomaly in the flock system, which was used by a member of our department. As a result, we immediately launched an internal investigation to determine exactly what happened. Part of that investigation will be to determine if flock was used inappropriately, and if so, discipline will follow. It's important to underscore the fact that our own accountability systems caught this anomaly, which demonstrates that our systems of accountability are working as intended. And though we are still very early in the investigation, we can say with certainty that nobody's privacy has been compromised as part of this potential misuse. Nonetheless, any potential misuse of the flock system is something that we must take seriously. I want every Chandler resident, visitor, and business owner to know that no law enforcement tool is more important than the trust you place in us every single day. Our ability to identify potential issues and take immediate action is something that you should expect of me and this organization. We're working together with our community, our city council, and our city manager's office to continue enhancing the already excellent service that we provide to this community every day. With that, I'll open it up for any questions.
This has obviously been a hot topic here at city council meetings. Would you consider the findings of this audit, or at least the initial findings, to be what kind of tipped you over the edge to make this decision, or is this one that you feel like you were considering for a while and maybe we're going to do anyway?
Well, I will just say that I have had ongoing conversations, and we have had as a command team with the city manager's office and elected officials over the last several weeks. Certainly, I have a perspective about our use of ALPR and the technology. However, that is one perspective that the city manager and the elected officials must take into consideration. We have had a very good dialogue about some of the community concerns and opportunities where we can enhance stronger our systems of accountability, our policy and training. So this isn't something where a decision is made in silo. This is a broad-based decision and a policy move by the city at this time till they can get all of their questions answered and we can hopefully move a path forward.
You said this was a proactive audit that caught this anomaly. Was it scheduled? Was it because you were about to discuss this again at council next week? Can you walk through this audit? Yeah,
we have had levels of audits for almost 3 years that we've had here. Beginning in January of this year, we started enhanced auditing through flock called Auto Assist. This records an audit every 30 days in addition to our quarterly audit and our yearly audit. So this is something that we've been using now in all of 2026. So this was part of our ongoing process. This was the first time in any of those audits where we have caught something that the auto assist function pointed out as potential misuse. And then it's up to us as administrators to look at what they have identified, do some further research, and then figure out what that is and what we're going to do with it.
Can you talk about, I know you said it's an investigation, a lot of limited details right now, but are you saying part of the investigation is someone on staff at the Chandler Police Department just used block cameras leading to this?
I can just say that we have identified a potential misuse of the system by somebody in our organization, and it is very early into it, and we don't know all of the details, so that's what the investigation will uncover.
Are you able to share when the police department or the city became aware of the potential misuse?
Yeah, we became aware yesterday and immediately had conversations with city leadership to address this.
Are you able to share who within the city has access to this software, this technology, who might have had access to the block camera?
Yeah, So we have restricted access for a number of our sensitive law enforcement databases. Currently, we have a little over 200 of our personnel that have access to the FLOC database. In order to gain access to the FLOC database, you have to go through training and policy reinforcement before you can use it. So it's a tiered usage. Not everybody has unrestricted access to it, but there are policies and procedures that you must follow in order to have access to that system.
When we talk about the use of FLOC cameras for investigative work, we've had other police departments, law enforcement agencies in the valley who have applauded its use during investigations. Do you feel like this is losing an investigative tool, or can you speak to something that could be used in its place?
Yeah, I'm a strong supporter of the technology, and I want to be clear, I don't think anybody is identifying this as a significant issue with the technology. Every technology or tool comes with human responsibility and action. I can tell you for the nearly 3 years that we have had it, we have not identified a misuse, and I can point conservatively to over 2,000 positive applications of ALPR technology here in Chandler. That looks like arresting criminals, furthering investigations, recovering stolen cars, and probably our most heart-wrenching ones is locating dementia and Alzheimer's patients who are driving around aimlessly. But for the use of ALPR, we would be significantly behind the curve in trying to find and address some of these issues. So certainly this slows down our investigative capacities, but importantly, ALPR is one piece of a technology layer that we use to investigate and handle calls for service every single day. Ultimately, the best part of any technology centers on the men and women behind it. I'm certainly very proud of our men and women at the Chandler Police Department, how they continue to deliver top-tier professional service every single day, and we will continue to do that with or without the technology that we currently have.
You talked about, I know this was at the city council meeting, you did talk about all the positives of, finding stolen property, going and chasing the bad guys. A lot of good coming from these cameras, and then you have this one incident that seems to kind of put it to rest. Are you saying this one incident is that egregious leading to this decision, or was it the culmination of hearing from the public saying that they didn't want these cameras?
Well, I would hope that we would all have a little bit of grace and forgiveness that one incident doesn't completely ruin something. But I will say that in conjunction with the ongoing dialogue and an impending vote next week on what we are going to do with this, one thing that I have heard from our elected officials and city manager's office is perspective from community around tighter controls, and some of that is myth, some of it is based in fact, and I think our responsibility as a city is to make sure there's a level of comfort with our electeds, our city managers, and our community before we continue down this road. Not everybody will be happy with all the technology that we use, but we certainly want to have the appropriate safeguards in place. And I just want to be very clear, I'm very comfortable with the safeguards that we have internally here with our policy, training, and systems of accountability. However, I think this serves as an opportunity for us to address other issues and concerns and provide more of that to where others have a better level of comfort and transparency with the technology that we're using.
How much longer are these cameras going to be up? Are they in the process of getting taken down? I know there's 26 cameras that still have a contract extending on until next year, I believe. Will those still be operating, or are we not tied with everything?
There's a total of 40 FLOC cameras currently, 14 to your point in a previous contract and 26 from last year. Those are property of the vendor, and so we have been in contact with the vendor about our desire to sunset this immediately. However, it is on their timeline to take those down, and that is going to take some time. But what I can tell you today is that all of the employees at the Chandler Police Department have had their access to the FLOC system restricted effective immediately. So we will not be in the FLOC system, and we're going to be working with the vendor to figure out what that timeline is, and we'll share that with city manager and the elected officials as well.
Can you confirm that these 40 cameras are off now, or how does that work if FLOC owns this technology but you all don't have access to it?
Yeah, that's a vendor question. I can only tell you today that we've restricted all of our access to it. We're not operating in the FLOC system, and our employees don't have access to those cameras or databases.
So it's possible that FLOC could still access those cameras?
Yeah, Flock is well aware of our intention to sunset those. That could look like taking them down, placing hoods over them. I think everybody's going to have a level of comfort when there are physical barriers over those cameras to show that they're not recording. That's something we'll have to work with the vendor on, and we'll go from there.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
Chief.
thank you.